Regardless of what happens out there, doesn't matter. Keep your swagger.
Hey everyone, welcome into the 5-Hole Fantasy Hockey Podcast. We're your hosts tonight, Zach and Alan. How are we doing, Zach?
Hey. What's up, man? I was cheating on everyone tonight. I'm not gonna lie. I had my fantasy football draft tonight, so
I know nothing about fantasy football. I've never.
You know what?
I'm not into real football, so
I'm a glutton for punishment. So I play, a lot of the different fantasies. I'm not one for fantasy baseball, though. I will say that.
That one seems like it'd be worse than hockey. If you truly just want like the longest season possible, the most games.
It sounds pretty unbearable. But yeah, so I had my fantasy football draft tonight, which I think went pretty well.
Nice.
We'll see. Last year, I had a great team last year. Everyone fucking got hurt. It was just IR city, man.
Ouch. And you have so many fewer games in football than hockey. So
that and one thing that's different is there's only so many viable players. One thing that you got to love about hockey is, on any given night, a third line right winger can get a hat trick. You know what I mean? So the depth of players, is so much deeper than that of football. A second line guy can be damn near just as viable as a first line guy.
True that. But yeah, we are continuing our divisional previews. We're getting started on the Central. Tonight, we're going to be going over Winnipeg, Dallas, Nashville, and Chicago. Going to the breakdowns, question mark storylines, top targets, breakout sleepers, goaltending, and dip our toes in prospects. I did kind of look at some of the prospects for each team there. Before we get going, as always, wherever you consume us, YouTube, Apple Pods, Spotify, make sure to follow us. Leave us some sweet reviews. We'd appreciate it. We also still have the slow mocks going. I don't know if we're going to get anything going on Yahoo anytime soon. I know that did just open up, but we're definitely still doing them on Fantrax. And you can hit us up on the Discord if you want to join the mocks or just hang out with us. So first up, Chicago, yuck. Probably one of the not so fun teams we're talking about tonight.
Poor Connor Bedard. I feel so bad for that.
You got to feel bad for that dude.
I feel so bad for him.
All the hype machine. But yeah, last year they were 25, 46, and 11, 8th in the Central, 31st in the NHL. Goals for 2.73, they were 26th. Then goals against per game 3.56, they were 31st, so second worst. But the bright spot on this team, and I was interested because I was like, that seems to stick out. That doesn't make sense. Their power play was 24.9%, good for 7th, which was interesting. But very red line, unsustainable. Looks like they had low shot attempts per 60, that infamous Corsi 4. Low shots on goal per 60 and few high danger scoring chances. I think that was on the back of someone that we'll discuss here shortly. So for off nights, they are 3rd with 36. So Connor Bedard is a center only. Not going to hurt you too much. They have 12 back-to-backs, so 3rd fewest, which is good because I don't think either of their goalies are really rosterable. So additions, they added Andre Burakovsky in that trade, Sam Lafferty, Dominic Toninato, and Ryan Mast. Subtractions, Alec Martinez, Pat Maroon retired, Jovelino, Philip Kurashev, TJ Brody, Cole Gutman, Brett Cini, Victor Soderstrom, Ilya Safonov, and Akurati. And they re-signed Ryan Donato, and then just recently they re-signed Frank Nazar. Top targets. And sorry, guys, we don't have slides this time. TJ's just been in a whirlwind with work right now. And I don't have those capabilities.
Which is still kind of cool at the same time, too. Though.
It is.
You know what
Especially
I mean?
when he's like, I'm going to Copenhagen for a weekend. It's like, oh,
yeah. He gets to go, drink actual Irish whiskey in Ireland while I'm sitting here in North Carolina, and he sends me all these beautiful pictures and stuff. And
And see
you
the
know,
true difference between Korean and Japanese chopsticks.
I don't know. I don't know how many chopsticks they have in Ireland, but I doubt it's that many.
No, no, shoot, I mean, would they have like? I wonder if they would have like Chinese or Asian food the same way that we know it. But anyway, top targets, Connor Bedard. After that, I don't know about you, Zach. It gets really shallow really fast. Ryan Zanato is probably the only
Yeah, I
other.
feel like it's those two.
Yeah.
Like,
Um,
I'm not even really interested in any of the, defensemen really even. So,
no,
like,
and I think there's so much uncertainty because as we get in storylines, yeah, it's just a lot that could happen, and we don't know who's going to be where. But projected power play. Yeah, of course, we got Bedard, Tyler Bertuzzi, Ryan Donato, Frank Nazar. And then this is where I don't know how much I agree with daily faceoff or just we don't know what's going to happen in the season. What was his name? Sam Renzel. Is that who you had? Yeah, Sam Renzel as the defenseman. But I mean, last year we saw, aside from Seth Jones, we saw Lev Shinov, we saw Alex Vlasic, Renzel. Maybe
so
that's
I don't know what they have on Daily Faceoff. I'm not gonna lie. I get most of my like line projections and stuff like that from Puckpedia, um, whom I
okay.
trust a lot more. Um, but they do have Renzel on the top power play. So at least for now, I'm going to choose to believe them.
Gotcha. And I think the only other secondary target, I mean Frank Nazar, but they do have Spencer Knight now that they got from Florida in the Seth Jones trade. But I don't
Is that a
think he's really
target
a
for you?
roster. Not at all. That's maybe I don't know if you're just saves are beneficial to you. He's going to see a lot of puck, but yeah, he's a stream at best if the schedule's beneficial. Um,
Yeah, I don't. I'm not going to lie. I don't see that. Um, there's on any given day, you can look up what goalies are starting, and in all honesty, I'd rather pick up a goalie that might be a backup goalie that plays for a good team that's playing a crappy team like Chicago. I want to pick up the goalie that's playing against Chicago, to be honest with you, not Spencer
hundred
Knight. But that's
percent.
just my personal opinion.
Oh no, 100%. Yeah, I just yeah, I'd say he's 1A if anything there. But yeah, that's a start at your own risk thing. But question marks there. I put after Bedard, is anyone worth drafting here slash a long-term hold on this team?
And honestly, even Bedard is a close one. Don't get me wrong, that kid is fantastic, but it's what's around him. And I have, kind of on the same vein, can the Blackhawks develop their young players? Considering they hardly have, like, honestly, you look at their team and they hardly have a serviceable NHL team.
Yeah, that's sad. And it sucks. I think part of it was just the UFA market really wasn't there this season to try and get some bodies or some veteran bodies in. But I think that kind of takes us to your point, Zach, here in the storylines with their cap
And I
space
think this
there.
is a big one, Alan.
Yeah.
I really do. The fact that they have so much cap space. The Blackhawks have over $18.5 million in cap space. Like, do something with that. Get some players. You had your chances to get these players, but it looks like no, which honestly I think is a joke. I think that they should be embarrassed by the fact that they have not surrounded Bedard. They've surrounded him with feasible cap space, but nothing to show for it. It just doesn't do it for me. There's only one team. Actually, there's two teams. I'm sorry. The Sharks have 19.7 million available in cap space, and the Ducks have 20.5 million available in cap space. Now, Alan, let me pose this question to you. What do the Ducks, the Sharks, and the Blackhawks all have in common?
They're toward the bottom of the league.
They are towards the bottom of the league. All these teams that have all this extra cap space that aren't putting viable NHL players on their team, have a bunch of cap space, and no fucking shit. It doesn't amount to wins in the NHL. Isn't that amazing?
Oh, it's crazy.
So, in all honesty, I think that that's a big friggin' storyline as far as I'm concerned when it comes to Chicago. Just
It
the
is.
cap
Oh,
space
yeah. And
availability.
cap is nice. Prospects are nice. But at some point, I assume Connor Bedard wants to play a playoff game in his career.
Mhm.
Um, and they want
And
to
you got to
get back to that dynasty area they had in the early tens. But no, I would say
well, they
those three
had an
teams.
awesome team back then. That's the
Yeah.
thing. So Patrick Kane came in the league, and Bedard is supposed to be like the next Patrick Kane. At least when he got drafted, that was the idea behind it all. But the whole thing is, man, they had a banger of a team back then. They
Oh no,
actually
yeah,
surrounded
100%.
Kane with really good players, and that's why they won the cup like every other friggin' year back when it was, you know, them or the LA Kings, one or the other. Someone's going to win. It's usually one of those two teams.
Oh yeah, and then I mean, following up to your point, that was I really thought the Blue Jackets and the Wild would make a big splash too, but I think it was just a bunch of everyone had money, but it was who real. I mean, after Marner, what other big fish were there in the UFA market? Like, I think I think the biggest fish out there is like Jack Roslovic. Uh, you're not going to throw millions and millions of dollars at him.
Mhm.
I don't think the UFA market was what everyone was hoping this season. Um, but hopefully next season we see some exciting free agency. And I'd say the other big storyline this year is new head coach Jeff Blashill, who was one of the assistant coaches for Tampa. Good riddance, so long. Thanks for all the fish. So I'm really interested on what they want Blashill to do. Like I don't think they're making playoffs this year. The talent level is minimal, meager. I don't see them really getting much better than the way they did last season. But guys that might break out. I know Zach, you had Rinzel.
I do. I have him because if he does get that power play nod, don't get me wrong, we do think that I agree with you that I think that power play is on the verge of unsustainable, being seventh best in the league on a team like that. But in the 9 games that he did play last year, he did actually see some good power play time. In those 9 games, he scored 5 points, all were assists, and 3 of which were on the power play. If he could keep up even a similar pace while adding in a goal or here or there, I think that he could have a serviceable rookie season. In all honesty, it was kind of hard to pick a player for breakout candidate on Chicago, but I think that this is, I think this has the highest upside as far as what's out there.
Sure. No, and I mean this is nice because this could be a sneaky fourth, fifth defenseman. Whoever ends up taking that quarterback spot down the road. And my breakout, I don't want to call it like it's a lowercase breakout, but I mean Frank Nazar, they just gave him that contract. I mean, follow the money. He'll most likely get some kind of deployment, top 6 deployment, a 7-year by 6.6 mil. That's going to be a contract that ages very well. With the cap going up as much as they say it will. Regression candidates. I know you actually have some good stuff here in Ryan Donato. I'll let you take that.
Dude, for me, it kind of has to be Ryan Donato because I honestly I don't think it's going to be Bedard. Bedard legit is a star and has what it takes as far as his ability to play to be a superstar. But I feel like Donato kind of, rode a lot of coattails. Let's just say that, and got a lot of luck last year as far as his shooting percentage went. Um, you know, Last year he doubled his previous season high in goals, points, and shooting percentage. He had a 17% shooting percentage last year. His Corsi and his Fenwick were both under 50%, which tells me that it's not sustainable to keep on doing that thing, the things that he was doing. So he had a great season last year being alongside Connor Bedard. And, at least he's going to get some of those auxiliary points playing with somebody like Bedard. But, I don't see another 17% shooting percentage here. Like, that just seems crazy. He's a career 11.1. You know what I mean? The year before that, he had an 8.1. So he more than doubled it from the year
8,
before.
10,
It just
17.
doesn't make sense. Like, you look at it and you say, which one of these is not like the other? Last year is not like the others.
Right. Oh yeah, and for me, I not really very statistical, but I put nobody. I mean, other than Bedard and Donato, no one had more than 60 points last season. So I just don't. I don't
Yeah,
see
there was
how
nobody else
there's
that really could regress. Like, what are
where
you
you
going to
regressing
regress
to.
from 30 to 20 points? But yeah, no, honestly, I think that as far as regression goes, Ryan Donato is the correct answer.
Yeah. And then value sleeper candidates, you said Renzel, 100%, or just kind of whoever gets that power play. I put everyone not Bedard. This is I feel like this is going to be one of those teams that if they have a great schedule somehow, or if they have more games, this is who we stream from. It's not great, but it's something.
Well, I
Um,
do. I almost feel that if Renzel, like, I think that there's a solid chance that he actually goes undrafted in a
oh,
lot of leagues.
100%.
So being able to get an undrafted player that could be viable to have now, is he going to be your best defenseman? No, no, he's not. But can he be part of a fantasy hockey team? I think so. Like you were
Oh yeah,
saying,
totally agree.
be a fourth defenseman on your team, like somebody that's still worth holding for somebody that went undrafted. That's still a value. That's a value. If you can pick up somebody on, just off of friggin' waivers and end up having to hold them because, at
Just
least they're
speculative.
getting starting power play time and everything like that. That's big.
That's the dream. That's the dream. Someone you paid nothing for that either wins you or gets you really far into your league.
Mm-hmm.
But goalies, yeah, like I said, I think the 1A is Spencer Knight. Backups Arvid Soderblom. It'll probably be a 50-50, 55-45. Neither of these guys you probably really want to roster. Just the team in front of them is not great. But if saves are important to you, they will absolutely see volume. But the top prospects, we went over Sam Rizal, 25th overall in 22. So probably about the point to start making the big club if he's going to. And then Artoim Levshinov, who I mentioned earlier, he was the second overall in 24. I know he saw quite a bit of power play one time. So it's like we said, whoever kind of gets that power play one is a very nice, cheap fourth, fifth defenseman for you. But now a much more exciting team to talk about. We're going Dallas Stars.
One of my
Last year,
favorites, man.
yeah, no, I see why. It's just it seems like the people who like the Stars are really into them. I've noticed. But yeah, last year they
Sorry.
were 50, 26, and 6. Second in the Central, fifth in the NHL. Goals for per game, they were 33.35, which is fourth, and goals against, they were 2.71, which is good for sixth. Their power play, 22% at seventh, good for 17th. Off nights, 26. They're kind of the middle bottom of the pack. And then back to backs, they've 12, fourth fewest. Off-season changes. The only addition was Radek Faksa. Subtractions, they lost Mikhail Granlund, free agency, Mason Marchment, Cody Ceci, Dadnov, Matek Lamel, assuming he's a prospect. They re-signed Matt Duchene, Jamie Benn, Maverick Bork, Nils Lundqvist, Colin Blackwell, Cole Lind, Cameron Hughes, Benjamin Cross, Remy Poirier, and Antonio Stranges. Top targets, Miko Rantanen, I think, yeah, top of the list. Rupe Hintz, Jason Robertson, Robo, Miro Heiskanen / Thomas Harley. We'll get into that in a minute. Jake Ottinger,
I think we're putting
absolutely.
Harley above Miro, are we not?
I
I
would.
think so.
I think I am manifesting Thomas Harley over Mira.
I feel like it's going to be him getting power play one. I'll be
Yeah.
surprised. Puckpedia does have Heiskanen on the first power play, but I gotta say, is one time where I think Puckpedia might be wrong. Because in my mind, I think it's going to be Harley.
Yeah. And I did notice in the playoffs, I mean, Heiskanen was back for, I think, game 1, or maybe it was like the first game of round 2 or something. They split it pretty evenly. So that didn't indicate anything to me either, but they got a new coach. So we'll see
Good.
what the new coach does with it. Yeah, they fired hockey terrorist Pete DeBoer. Secondary targets: Matt Duchene, Tyler Seguin, Jamie Benn, Wyatt Johnston. I think those, yeah, for various reasons. But top
So
unit,
many targets. That is
I
so
know.
many targets. We had trouble naming 2 on Chicago. We only put Ryan Donato on there just fucking because. Here, there's just a slew of them. And Jake
This is good.
Ottinger is on our list as like the 5th or 6th player
Top 5
to target.
goalies.
And
Oh.
he is awesome.
Oh yeah, 100%. I totally agree. But yeah, projected top unit, Rantanen, of course. Hintz, I feel like it's also a lock. Now, this is where Daily Faceoff did not have Jason Robertson on the top unit, and I strongly disagree. I kind of feel like he's a lock. Jamie Benn was also not on there according to Daily Faceoff, but I feel like he was a fixture last year. And then
I feel like he should be on the second. If I were making one, I think it should be Robertson, Rupi Hintz, Miko Rantanen, Wyatt Johnson, and Thomas Harley. That would be my first power play if I was making the power play. That's just my personal opinion. And then I would have, Duchene, Sagan, Ben on the second power play, and probably have, Maverick Bork and Miro Heiskanen in there.
yeah, and that's the thing. Wasn't Ben the net front guy? I mean, was Wyatt Johnson someone you want at net front?
I want to see Wyatt Johnson is the future more than Jamie Benn is.
Okay. Well, no,
Now, I
yeah,
understand
absolutely. I mean, how old is
they need
Jamie Benn now?
what he's got to be. What maybe is he 34, 35?
Isn't he one of like 3 or 4 guys left in the league that don't have to wear visors? Like he is that far back.
Let's find out. He is 36.
Oh, okay, so not that
He
bad,
is
but he's up there. He's
36 is pretty old for an offensive player. A lot of the older players you'll see play more defense, in all honesty.
But
So I don't know. 36 is getting up there, is all I'm saying. He is definitely
yeah.
part of the old, he is part of
the
the
old guard.
Yeah, the old guard for sure.
But yeah, question marks. It sounds like yeah. We'll go with yours, Zach. 'Cause yours is probably a little bit more straightforward.
My question mark is: does Wyatt Johnson have a chance at the top line this year? I would think. Okay, so I don't think that he's going to get top line, but I want to see him get top 6. I would like to see him get that second C spot. I don't know about you.
I mean, that's
fully
what
understand
Daily
having
Faceoff
Hintz.
had.
I think you could make an argument to have him as the 3C, in all honesty. I want to see him as the 2C, but I think it would be very feasible to have Duchene on the second line center.
That was the 2C. Duchene can also play wing. So I mean, maybe you have Wyatt Johnson 2C, and then Wyatt Johnston gets tossed. Joe gets tossed. You have Duchene, who can also take faceoffs. But no, yeah, absolutely. But I feel like barring injury, I'm not sure I see him getting a solid top line shot. But I mean, I don't know. Again, new coach, could be the second offense dries up. That's something they try.
Mm-hmm. I just, and I think a lot of other people do. I see a lot in Joe, and I do think that he is the future. Now, Rupi Hintz is awesome. and it's not like they're just going to throw him off that top line when he's obviously proven that he can play really well with Robertson. So, you're obviously going to keep him up there for now, and then have Rantanen over on that other side. That top line is going to be fire. Um, but I'd love to see Wyatt Johnston up there. I'm just saying.
I
I
don't
would.
know. We'll see. And then my question mark was who gets that top spot on the power play. Yeah, I remember digging into the numbers at some point last season on which truly who was better statistically. Was it Harley? Was it Miro? And they were kind of pretty close, but it really wasn't either one of them individually that sort of lifted the power play. As we said, it was like 18th ranked in the league, so it wasn't like a great power play that was made better by the addition of Harley. It was just sort of Harley was a warm body. And like I said, in the playoffs, they kind of split it evenly between the two. I don't know. And again, we have a new coach who could throw whatever he wants out there. He could do 2D power play. For all we know. But I am projecting for Thomas Harley. I am manifesting that.
I hope so. In all on, like, number one, I agree with you on what you had there, uh, especially with Harley. Dude, Miro Heiskanen burned me.
Me too.
So bad. Like he had what 25 points, I think it was last year.
Before he got
Let's see.
injured. That sounds right.
Yeah. Thomas Harley, 50 points, a ton of which were on the power play.
And that was nice. Was he got you points without that top unit time, so it was just that much better for him.
It was maddening,
that.
maddening last year with Miro Heiskanen, and it's not the first year that he's burned me either. So I'm looking forward to Thomas Harley taking that over, or I really am. I hope so.
And then storylines, for me, it is, and I think it's just that PTSD I have from playing someone who had McKinnon and Rantanen in a keeper league for so long. I focus my hate on them. Rantanen, what is he if he is not a Nathan McKinnon merchant? I mean, he'll get a full season this year on the same team. Rupe Hintz is no Nathan McKinnon. I mean, what can we expect from him this year?
He's going to be a Jason Robertson merchant. Dude, he's going to be on a high-flying top line. Like, Jason Robertson is a point-per-game player, and with having another highly skilled player with him in Rantanen and then Poopy Hintz also in the middle, dude, I think Jason Robertson is going to be more than a point-per-game player this year, and I don't think that Rantanen's gonna be worse for wear. That's just my guess, but I really don't think that he's gonna have a huge dip. I mean, hell, last year he played 20 games in Dallas and he had 18 points.
There we go. Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure it's a lot of that was he changed scenery twice, not expecting it, and just new teammates, deployments messed up. But this will be interesting to see what he does with a full season with the same team that is not Colorado. And then,
well, I know that there was a lot that he didn't like in Carolina, along with like just how Rod moved the lines around and stuff like that. So I know that Carolina just wasn't home for him. So it was good for him that he moved. It was good for the Canes that he moved. And I think that he'll find a good spot and really mesh in well with Dallas.
And then I'll gotta get to your storyline there.
I have can the Stars get over the hump and back up what is usually a strong regular season with a postseason that's just as strong. Last year really kind of it kind of had some April vibes to it. You know what I mean? Like the season came in with a roar, but went out with a yawn, kind of.
Yeah.
Uh, uh,
Oh man,
thank God
when
Pete
they made that
DeBoer is
Granlund
gone.
trade, I was like, oh, this is it, like cup contender by a mile. But yeah, oh god, yeah. What Pete DeBoer did to Jake Andre, that was so terrible. Good
I was
riddance.
so mad, Alan. I was so mad. Like I was watching that game and I was screaming at the TV, like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah, I just started looking
But-
at the boxer. I'm like, why is Casey DeSmith in after like 10 minutes? Like
Well,
that's
it's totally
right.
saying like it's just a big middle finger to your starting goalie who is the clear-cut future for your franchise. Like I almost feel like Pete DeBoer knew that he was going to get fired, so he was like, "You know what? I'm just going to do this to piss everyone off."
Screw you guys. I'm
Like I
taking
really
my
do
ball and
feel
I'm
that
going
in
home.
my bones. Yeah, I feel that in my bones that he did that shit on purpose because he knew I like the I'm taking my ball and going home kind of
Yeah.
feel. He did. He felt like that little kid who, was pissed off and was, "No, I'm taking this, I'm leaving."
And then I think even his like presser after the season was same vibes, just like these guys suck. Like no wonder we couldn't win.
Yeah.
But
He's a
breakouts,
shit.
we both agree. Thomas Harley, if he's a lock on power play 100%. And we both agree, Miro, what a lemon.
It'll be huge
Um,
for him. In all honesty, what do you think? Okay, so let's just say hypothetically, let's think in a vacuum here. Thomas Harley has that power play and has it consistently all year long. He had 50 points last year.
50.
What do you think that he gets this year?
If he's a lock all season, you got to think 60 is a good floor.
I like the over.
Yeah,
I like the over on that 60.
I don't want to say 70, but like somewhere between 60
I like
and
the
70.
under on 70, but I like the over on 60. I do.
Especially with the
And that's
addition
why
of
we're
Menon.
hey, the season hasn't talked yet. We're just having fun talking
Oh no,
hypotheticals,
that's
Alan,
that's right. We'll see. But regression candidates. You have Matt Duchene there, Zach.
I do. And it's not that I don't like Matt Duchene, but so looking at his stats, he historically has fallen off the next year or the year post after a great year. So most recently, when he had 43 goals and 86 points, he backed it up with 22 goals and 56 points. And previous before that, he's done the same general thing. So, 31 goals and 70 points. Back that up with, a very modest 27 goals, but 58 points. So you just see this big kind of, it looks like a wave report. It looks like stocks and bonds. It's going up and down all the time. It's not really steady. So you're looking for more of that steady kind of player. So he had a fantastic year last year where he was exactly a point per game, 82 points in 82 games. But if you're looking at the rest of his career and how it goes after he's had, a really good season, you see a dip the next year. His shooting
And
percentage was
he
at
did this in
19 point.
Nashville.
Yeah, his shooting percentage was 19.7 last year, almost 20%. Now he is historically a pretty decent shooter, but still it is well above his career average is 13.6, which don't get me wrong, very, very good. But having almost 20% shooting percentage, that's a little outside the box. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
So I don't see another point per game season. I think it's going to dip down to, I would say between, I think conservatively 65, which is still a good season, but possibly even, 60 or less. I just don't see it happening again as far as point per game. I don't.
Yeah, no, agree. Yeah, no, he was redlining this season. And for me, I think this is bias talking. I have Rantanen for lowercase regression. I'm not sure I'm comfortable saying like he's good for 100, 105 points.
Yeah,
But
I'll give you
I
that.
don't know about 88. That I don't know. I would take a little over.
I think he could still be around a point per game, though.
At
Like, don't get me
least.
wrong. I don't think that he's going to be a 100-point player either. When you're playing with McKinnon and he's scoring 115 points, you know, yeah, you're going to do a lot more than just 80. But I could see point per game between 80 and 85 points. I think that that's definitely feasible. But I'll give you that on the regression for Rantanen.
Yeah. And it's hard. To me, it didn't seem fair to say that like, yeah, he's gonna regress from 88. It's like, no. We know he is more like a typically 105 point player, but yeah, I don't think he's an 88 point player. But we'll see what happens in Dallas this year. Sleepers. We're going with the old guys here. Like I have Jamie
We
Benn,
are.
assuming
We
he
are.
is that power play one fixture still. But it sounds like you're manifesting Joe, so we'll see if mine is someone you hit the snooze button on.
And then I have Tyler Sagan, the other, old guy on the team. So we're both picking old guard guys. The thing is, the way I see it is there's so much top tier young talent in Dallas that it's easy to forget about the Jamie Benns and the Tyler Sagans because if you're picking, you know, if you're let's say we're drafting back in 2016. Yep, they're going to be drafted way higher, but Tyler Sagan and Jamie Benn are definitely going to fall down your draft boards. Um, so I think that they're a guy, there's still guys that can come out. Tyler Sagan is still a hell of a goal scorer. His shooting percentage is still going to be high because that's what he does. And even though he did get hurt last year, he should be back, and I think he has a chance to be back with a decent amount of a vengeance here. He's going to go Bruce Willis style, I think. But even as is, in the 20 games that he played last year, he had 21 points.
There we go, point per game guy.
That was last year. Now I could see him being, I think it's feasible that he could possibly get, 55, 60 points if he plays the whole season. Do I think he'll get 82 points in 82 games? No. But let's be honest, you're not going to draft him all that high. He's going to be a pretty low draft pick. So I think you could definitely get value here.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. And then goalies, starter Jake Ottinger, backups Casey DeSmith again. I think this is 70-30, just like last
I
year.
think it should be 110% and negative 10%, but that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. Not even Connor Hellebuyck plays all 82 or 84. Is it 84?
He should play more than 82. He should play all 82 games,
Plus
all games in the
16 to win the
playoffs,
cup.
and yeah. No, obviously I'm joking, but I really am. I'm a huge Jake Ottinger fan. Have been since uh, since I was picking him up off of waivers, and people were telling me I'm crazy, and then he became something. So he's one of those guys that I've always had a fondness for.
And plus, he's probably what we call him, like a top five goalie.
Honestly, I think so. Don't get me wrong. He's not in the same stratosphere yet as your general Vesna candidates, but I think that he has the skills to be a Vesna winner one day. I truly believe that.
And the team in front of him, I know quite a
It
bit of that
helps.
core, including him, is locked up for a while.
It helps.
But top prospects, we got Liam Bichelle, defenseman, 18th overall in 22. He did split time between the AHL and the NHL, was even in some of their playoff games. Probably sees a little bit more time, not really fantasy relevant. And the other big one I could find was Justin Reichwan. I have no idea how to pronounce that name. I'm very sorry. He was undrafted, signed in 24, could see some time as like a bottom six piece. But no one to get excited about. So it
Don't
takes
be
us
sorry,
to
but somebody is going to come after you in the comments.
oh,
That
they
can be
will. They
assured.
will. And it's like,
What do
I'm
you?
sorry, man.
How do you not know how to pronounce that name that has 17 fucking
Right?
consonants in it? You know.
Raikkonen. Yeah, and I put a southern twang on that. I'm very sorry. Yeah, I have no idea how to pronounce that name. Or even what country that would be from. But yeah, we'll move on to Nashville.
Let's take a
City I
guess.
can
I'm guessing. I'm gonna go. What's your guess? I'm gonna say. Jesus. I'm gonna say Finland. My guess is Finland.
this so something Nordic. I see it. Yeah, I don't want to say Sweden. Or maybe if it's not Nordic, I want to say like Czech.
Jesus. We're both wrong. He's
Something
Canadian.
like or maybe Polish.
He's Canadian.
Something he's where?
He's
Canadian?
Canadian. That doesn't well, just
That
like you know,
surname
I'm
comes from somewhere. It's not
yeah,
Canada.
I'm American, but my last name is as German gets. But that's what I'm guessing this is because yeah, he is definitely from Canada. But that is not your
Oof.
usual Canadian name, eh?
No. Yeah, we'll move on to Nashville. Like I said, a city I can definitely pronounce. Man, I don't know what happened to them. Last year they were 30, 44 to 8, 7th in the Central, 30th in the NHL. Goals for per game, they were 2.59, which is 31st. Now, a couple interesting things here. They did struggle at even strength. At even strength, they only scored 110 goals, worst in the league, down from the season before at 168. They also allowed 158, which was one of the worst. They were high shot, low conversion, even though they generated plenty of high danger chances. They only converted about 7.2%, which was 29th in the league. Meanwhile, their opponents converted it 11.9. But yeah, goals against per game, they were 3.34 for 28th. Power play in the middle, 21.9, 18th. Off nights, 21, second fewest. So probably not a team you spend a lot of draft capital on for centers. Back to backs, 13. They have fourth fewest additions. Not too many. Nothing real notable. Eric Howla, Nicholas Haig, Nick Perbix. Subtractions: Colton Sissons, Jeremy Lazon, Mark Delgaizo, Kiefer Bellows, Jeremy Henzel, and they re-signed Andreas Eglund. Top targets, if you can really call him that. I mean, you got Ryan O'Reilly, who for some reason is your 1C. I don't know why. Good guy.
Because
He's one of the. There's
because
no one
there's
else.
no other like who you gonna have. Like when we get down to like
Their
I
depth. Where
forgot
is it?
for a second, but when for question marks, when we get to that, I'm gonna talk about center depth. It's atrocious.
It's gross. Philip Forsberg, probably the top target on this team. Roman Yossi, and UC Saros, I said with a question mark. He's a good individual goalie. I just don't think this team in front of him is that great. Secondary targets, you got Jonathan Marchessault, Steven Stamkos, and I with an asterisk, I think Nick Blankenberg. I think you and TJ discussed like if something's up with Yossi, which we can get into here shortly, like Blankenberg might be the next man up. If it's not him, it's probably Brady Shea. But that projected top
But I
unit,
see Brady Shea as a better defensive
offensive.
defenseman
Oh, 100%.
in my personal opinion. So I think it would be Nick Blankenberg that they would be moving up.
Or maybe it's someone we haven't met yet. But power play unit, top unit, Yossi, I'd say almost a lock. Stamkos definitely a lock. Ryan O'Reilly, probably a lock there. Marchessault.
Someone's got to take faceoffs, man.
I know. Forsberg, absolutely a lock. Question marks. Yeah, like you said, center depth. Take us away.
I mean, let's just look at the center depth that they do have. I'm going to name you these names. And by the way, it would definitely be Ryan O'Reilly as far as I'm concerned in that top power play. The man is as elite gets on faceoffs. So if he's not your top
Agreed.
center for that, then I don't know who is. Okay, so Ryan O'Reilly, cream of the crop. You have Eric Holla, sorry, uh, Fedor Svechkov, and Michael McCarron. Who are you going to put on the top line? You're going to put Eric Hall up there. You're going to put Fedor Svechkov,
Right.
who's what? He's played 1 year, I think, or has he played 2 years? I don't even really quite remember.
I remember
He's
seeing his
only
name last season, but yeah, I
so
wouldn't say
I'm pretty sure he played 1 real year. I believe he played a couple of games the year before that. Let me take a look quick. No,
now.
yeah, no, just 1 year. Just one
Nice.
year. So
And I know
and
at one
there's nothing
point
wrong with that. He's a young guy, but like, dude, you can't.
is your 2C.
I mean, maybe. Honestly, yeah, I guess so. And that's only because, no offense to Eric Holla, but I think Eric Holla is like the, like the perfect kind of 3C or 4C. Like that is kind of his game. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he's definitely more of like the go and play on the boards kind of third or fourth line center. So I don't see him being a second line guy. So you almost feel like it has to be Fedor Svechkov, right?
Right. Or now I know at some point in the season they actually did this and had one good line. They stacked Forsberg, Stamkos, and Marchessault. So Stamkos can play center pretty well, serviceably. But yeah, I just if you're moving him off the wing to play 1C or 2C, you're in trouble. I think
Then who are you going to put on the wing?
exactly.
Like it starts getting real risky. Like don't get me wrong, they have some really good players at the top of the lineup, but it starts
Real
getting
shallow, real
fucking
quick.
bonkers.
Yeah,
Real
and
shallow, real quick
that
with
was
a
the same problem they had last year. Was after Ryan O'Reilly, it's like where's their center depth? And you would think they would have signed someone in the offseason, but again, everyone had money to sign someone. So who was available that would have been a 2C material or even a 1C?
the whole thing is, honestly, they have some cap space, but it's not like they have a crazy amount of cap space. They definitely don't have you know, the 18 million that we were talking about with Chicago. I mean, Philip Forsberg, they're paying him like the star that he is. He's getting 8.5 million a year. Stamkos is getting 8 million a year. Roman Yossi is getting 9 plus. Brady Shea is getting 7. They're paying players. So UC Soros is getting 7.7. So they definitely don't have the cap space that what the I think the player that is getting the most money is like at 5.5 or something on Chicago. 5.5 million compared to Nashville, who at least they're paying players like the hoping to get something from them. But still, they don't have the same amount of cap space, but for good reason. I mean, you should be paying Philip Forsberg 8.5 million.
Yeah,
You,
should be
you
paying
shouldn't have
Roman
him on your
Yossi.
team. Yeah, absolutely. You know,
And then my question mark was, where's the value here? This team really didn't get any better, unfortunately. The storylines. I put Yossi's health in the offseason. There was that diagnosis of is it POTS? It's like postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. I guess it was something like just
scary
like you can
shit.
be having like you even have a heart rate of like 180 when you're sitting still and like 60 when you're running a marathon. Like you could be all over the place, which I think just throws a big question mark on, can we expect any kind of consistent deployment? Is he still a
Mhm.
top 3 defenseman in the draft?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I love Roman Yossi. I've had him on my team many years over. Uh, but you'd have to be a little scared about that this year, right? Like you have to.
Oh yeah.
That could almost, if everything turns out to be okay, he could very well be a huge value pick. But it's scary shit.
Yeah, I would say it's scary to pay value on him. What
Mhm.
I'm trying to think of when he would go last season, like end of the second round, beginning of the third round. Yeah, I don't know if I'd
I don't
want.
think you're taking him there. I'm not.
No,
I'm not gonna lie to you.
I
I'm
wouldn't.
not taking him there. But now, as the rounds start getting down there, if he's available, you're taking a look at the name Roman Yossi and thinking, Jesus, I've whiffed on many a 6th-round pick before, an 8th-round pick before, and he's never been here. I might as well at least give it a try.
Take a swing. Is the Elias Patterson, right? Like, why would you want to take him in the 2nd round, but 5th round, he's still all right. I'll take a swing. But while we're on Yossi, like I have Blankenberg as my breakout candidate, especially if Yossi becomes unreliable or takes a turn for the worse, has to sit out and they shut him down or something for the season. They're not playing for anything, so it's like if he looks bad, they could absolutely just shut him down for the season. And then in that case, someone's got to take that top power play. It's not an elite power play, but it's a power play. And yeah, those defensemen don't grow on trees.
No. And it's not like, Nick Blankenberg is some sort of he's no Roman Yossi replacement. He's not. Let's just be honest. And that's okay because there's not many people that are. But there's only one way to find out if he can be a viable player on that top power play, and that's to put him there. He definitely had some power play time last year. But his shooting percentage was in the trash can, just like most of the team. So I could actually see him, having a decent year if he was to get that all year long. I have Luke Evangelista here. And that's just because I'm trying to think of somebody. There isn't a lot of depth on either side of, the wings. So I do think that he has the best chance to be on that second line, because if it's me, I'm not putting Bunting there. I'm not putting Cole Smith there. So I think that Luke Evangelista is the obvious answer to put in that, that second line left wing. So for me, it all comes down to pathway, and that's why I have him there.
Yeah. Regression candidates. I mean, not much to say here. Like,
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't put anybody.
No.
I feel horrible, but I didn't put anybody because nobody had a good enough year to regress. And I know that you have Forsberg here.
Well, I said he led the team last year with 76 points. Mm-hmm. Next after him was Marchessault at 56. Like,
but I think really those are both very attainable again. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Is there anyone that
even
can
if they
regress?
have bad? That's the thing. I don't see a regression coming from anybody, because I think that last year was the low. I think that was the the rock bottom where they're going to start going to AA kind of shit. Like
that was got dark.
Sorry.
But value candidates, I like yours, Philip Forsberg. I don't know where you're thinking that makes him value though. I mean, people probably take him second, third round.
Do you think he's still going to go in the second, third round? Are you taking
he'll go later?
I do. Are you taking? I'm
okay.
God,
no, I wouldn't take.
I'm not taking Philip Forsberg in the second or third round. I'm not taking a player that has, a 75-point upside. I'm not.
No.
Now, he is awesome. I'm not saying he's not, but he's a really, really good player on a really, really bad team. So I got to say, I would think that his stock has got to drop a little bit, at least to where he would be viable for me to want to take him. But there's always going to be those people out there like TJ fucking loves Philip Forsberg and I'm glad that he's actually not on this episode, because he would be fucking flipping out at me right now. He really would. But one thing I will say about Philip Forsberg, dude, he takes a ton of shots. Now, I don't know if it's just because there's nobody else on that team to take friggin' shots, but he takes so many shots. And like the last 2 seasons, as far as total shots attempted, 700 shots attempted and 600 shots attempted. That's crazy, Alan. That is a crazy amount of shots.
Yeah, that's a what, over 5 a game? No, that's well over 5 a game. That's
like
6.
it's well.
It's
over
a lot. It's a lot. It's a
lot of shots. So he takes a lot of shots. And we here at Fantasy Hockey love players that take tons of shots. So in all honesty, I do think that if you're taking him in the second round, I think you're going to be disappointed. I'm
No, I
not willing
think
to do that. If you are, then the residual you, then good luck with that. But I think
I
he's
think the
definitely more of a
point in time where you did take him second, third round was years ago.
yes,
long,
agreed.
long past.
And it was viable
Goalies,
then. I just don't think it's viable now.
no. But goalies, yeah, you got UC Saros is the starter. Justice Sanunen is your backup. Probably be a 65-35, depending on how much they want to kind of preserve UC Saros' mental health. I can't imagine it's going to be a good season for him at all. But yeah, top prospects, you got Brady Martin. He was your 5th overall this past year. He signed his ELC, but we probably won't see him in the NHL for a couple of years. They got Tanner Moldendiek, left-handed defenseman, 24th overall in 23. He's top 4D potential. Puck mover playmaker. Could see NHL this season. Wouldn't surprise me if he's someone they maybe, even though he's a left-handed D, maybe they toss him power play time if something's up with Yossi. Who knows? And Joaquim Kamel, right winger, 17th overall in 22. He had 40 points in 65 games with the Admirals last year. Could see bottom 6 or some limited power play time this season. That brings us to the last team this evening, Winnipeg. What a season for them. 56, 22, and 4. First in the Central, first in the NHL. Just elite offense and defense. Goals for per game, they were 3.35 at third. Goals against, 2.32. They were the best in the NHL. Best power play at 28.9. Off nights this year, they're 26th, 6th fewest. Back-to-backs, 9. They have the fewest. Off-season changes. Additions, they added Jonathan Toews, Gustav Nyquist, Tanner Pearson, Shen. Subtractions, they lost Nikolai Ehlers, Mason Appleton, Brandon Tanev, and Rasmus Kupari. What?
Losing Nikolai Ehlers, big one.
Yeah.
It's a big fucking deal.
Even though he was the the poster child for why doesn't this guy would be so good if he just got the deployment. So we'll see what happens to Carolina with him. But they re-signed Gabe Vilardi, Dylan Sandberg, Vlad Nemestikov, Tyrell Bauer, Alphonse Frisch, Mason Shaw, and Jacob Julian. Projected top targets. And yeah, I agree. Yeah, Brandon there. Brandon in the chat, can they reproduce it is the question. I don't know. Projected top targets, Connor Hellebuck by far, probably should be the first goalie off the board. Mark Scheifele, Kyle Connor, Josh Morrissey. Can you think of any others? I mean, Ehlers was the cutoff in the past. I can't think of anyone else that's a top target anymore.
Yeah, no, I think that as far as top targets, it's those 4. I do like the secondary targets that you have here, though, because I definitely, think that they work, and that's mainly, at least for me, Neil Pionk, who I am a big Neil Pionk lover, and Gabe Vilardi. If Gabe Vilardi is going to be getting top line time, then that would be huge. That would be huge. I think that he could have a really big year this year and kind of take over that top line spot. And then you also have Cole Perfetti and Luke Shen. Luke Shen, who is giving you all the cats and stuff like that. So that's a real good one. And I always love when we put the bang daddies in here.
Oh, you got it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But projected power play unit, I don't think there's a surprise here. At least Daily Faceoff had Connor, Scheifele, Perfetti, Vilardi, and Morrissey. And then second unit, Nemestikov, Niederreiter, Toews, Nyquist, Pionk. Question marks. Start with you, Zach, there.
Number one question mark I have is, why can I never spell Winnipeg right? For some reason, Winnipeg I always spell wrong. So that was actually my first question mark. But other than that, I also have the Jets are super top heavy as far as offensive talent. After that top line, things do kind of start going downhill fast for the sole reason of you named Jonathan Toews and your next reaction was ew. So, I expect Nothing as far as like the bottom six goes, but they have a great defense. They have a great goaltender. But when it gets off that top, that top tier talent, it does. It kind of goes downhill big for me. Your second line, you're looking at, Nino Niederreiter, Jonathan Toews, and Cole Perfetti. It's not great.
No,
it's not great.
And then my question mark, yeah, where it's right in line with you. Where's the depth again? Seems like as long as I've been playing fantasy hockey, that it's a top 3, top 4 forwards in Winnipeg. The 2C was always, it was like the defense of the dark arts teacher in Harry Potter. Like it was always like, hey, we got a new one. This is going to be the great one this time. And they go away, or something happens.
And then he's drinking polyjuice potion and he gets, suspended for half the year. Yeah, no, it's not going to go well. But as far as their depth is in the defense. That's where their depth is.
Okay. Yeah,
just, they don't have the offensive depth.
And then my other question mark is if Hellebuyck doesn't put up like 60 plus Vezina caliber starts, like, is this a playoff team? I mean, only in the West.
I think that they're definitely a borderline playoff team either way, but I really do think that it's because of that great defense. I really do. I believe in the D there in Winnipeg.
And then storylines, ours are pretty similar. Just Ehlers.
Mine kind of goes along with what we were still talking about. That was, I put Nick Ehlers came here to Raleigh, where I live, which is definitely a huge deal and was a really big signing around here. A lot of buzz. So, other than Kyle Connor, who's going to score goals? Don't get me wrong. I'm a big fan of Mark Scheifele, but who's going to score these goals? I hope that it's Gabe Vilardi. But that's a really big kind of question for me.
Yeah. And I mean, who can we complain about now not getting line 1 power play time with Ehlers gone? I don't know, because they just gave it to Vilardi. There was no years of, if he could just get that. But breakout candidates, I don't know, Zach, it sounds like yours is very obvious. Gabe Vilardi.
I do. I have Gabe Vilardi. I think that he is a shoe-in for that top line spot. It really comes down to, again, who else are you going to put there? It's not going to be Cole Perfetti. As much as I used to be a huge Gustav Nyquist fan back when he was on the Detroit Red Wings back in the day, and I would whoop TJ's ass in Shell. I would whoop his ass with friggin', the old school kind of Red Wings. But that's when Gustav Nyquist was viable. As much as I loved him then, I don't love him as much now. And I think that Gabe Vilardi, again, shoe in for that top spot. The main question is, did he have a breakout last season? Now, he had 61 points in 71 games last year. Do you consider that a breakout? Honestly, I think that he could be a 70-plus player being on that top line.
So you're saying there's still more room to break out, which I was, 100%. I agree. We have no Ehlers gone, or Ehlers is gone. And I agree. I was looking apples to apples. I thought, like, will does Perfetti even have a chance? I'm like, no, it just, Vilardi was far and above, had the better season. So I totally agree. It's going to be Vilardi, but really the breakout is whoever fills that Ehlers hole.
Ooh. Yeah, no, I do. I'm big on Gabe Vilardi this year.
Regression. I am very interested in your case here, Zach, on this one.
I have Connor Hellebuyck.
Regress at to what though?
I don't know, but if you're the best goalie in the league, I don't know that next year he will be the very best goalie in the league. I mean, he had career stats last year. Like, don't get me wrong, he's awesome, and he's perennially well above 900. And well below 3 goals on average, which is usually, I want my goalies to be above 900 and below 3. Um, he was only 2.0 goals against average. That's crazy.
It is.
That's crazy. That's crazy, Alan.
There's got to be
Like,
some
I'm
number
just
that
saying.
indicates he was redlining all season long.
The fact that his numbers are just so damn good, I find it hard to believe, on top of the fact that he had more shutouts than he ever had last year. He had the highest quality start percentage than he's ever had in his entire career. It's not the fact that I think that Connor Hellebuck is going to have a bad year. I just think that he had like a year for the ages. Like, not just for him, but like for goalies in the NHL, like friggin' ever. So, is he, do I think that he is the best goalie in the league? Yeah, I do. I'm not going to lie. I can't say that I don't. But he had one of the best goalie seasons ever in the entire NHL history. So, can he keep on doing that with the team getting worse than it was last year? That's the question.
See, that's
Can you tell
that's
me
the
that
huge
he's
question to
going
me
to?
is like, I don't see how he'll probably still, his individual stats are still going to be great. Like, he is, one of, if not the best goalie in the league. Sorry, Vazzy. But yeah, I just, with the team around him losing some offensive talent, like, where's the scoring support going to come from? Right. So he'll still put up great save percentage, goals against average, but like the win column might be a little iffy.
But he was almost under 2. He had a 2.0 goals against average. That's fucking wild, dude.
Ridiculous. And this is
Fucking wild.
to the same point I made last year. And I know, like, I always get pushed back on this. Like, can they expect playoff success when they run Hellebuck into the ground each year? And then, hey, get back up, soldier. You got to play another, I don't know, there maybe like 28 games of playoff hockey. I don't know.
Well, that's because he's looking over his shoulders and he sees Eric Comrie and he's like, yeah, I definitely do have to get back out there.
Yeah, and it's just like with the lack of back-to-backs, like he's gonna play 60 plus games again, which is good for you if you draft him in fantasy. That's what you want. That's what we're here for. But real hockey, I just don't think it gets you a great result. But
And don't get me wrong, Eric Comrie is serviceable,
Yeah.
but he's serviceable when he's on Winnipeg. He was on Winnipeg years and years ago, and he had a 920. But then he went to Buffalo for a couple of seasons, and that 920 turned into an 886 and an 874. Comes back to Winnipeg with their good defense, not being in crap ass Buffalo, and he had a 914 last year. But that's because of the Buffalo defense.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. And then my regression candidate, Neil Pionk. He had almost double his career shooting percentage last season at 8.1 versus 4.3. His even strength, power play time on ice didn't really change. He just capitalized on more opportunities. And his IPP and power play IPP weren't crazy outlier. He was literally just getting luckier with his shots, which we all know is not a sustainable way to keep scoring.
But the boy still bangs, dude.
Oh
But
yeah,
the
no,
boy still
that's
bangs.
what you get him for, is the bangs.
Yeah, last year, in all honesty, I can see where you're gonna say that he could definitely regress, and that's as far as like the goals go and everything like that. But you were never really drafting Neil Pionk for goals in the first place,
No,
so
that
I
was your
feel like
upside.
if you're drafting him for goals this year, then you deserve what you get. You're drafting him for the peripherals, and the goals are just an extra kind of cherry on top. I still love Neil Pionk, and I won't stand here idly while you disrespect my
But no,
boy.
oh yeah, you absolutely. He was still hitting, blocking, shoots. But yeah, no, the points will go
I
to
feel
waste.
you though. I do.
But value sleeper, Gabe Velarde, I totally agree. Only person I can think of is, I really hate to say it, but Taze.
I mean, you
Who
didn't have
knows?
to, but
who knows how much ice time he's had while he's been doing his weird diets on the other side of the world. But if he can string together something decent, yeah, he'll probably be their 2C at 37 years old. So yeah, we'll see. I just have no hope there. And I think they have one of the lower amount of off nights. So Taze is probably not someone you even want to hold long term. Yeah, they're on the lower end for off night. So center, not a position you really want to hold if you don't have those off nights. But goalies, like we hinted at, yeah, Connor Hellebuck's your starter, Eric Comrie's your backup. 75-25 split, I think is fair.
Agreed.
And then yeah, round it all off. Top prospects, Braden Yeager, acquired from Pittsburgh in 24. He has top 6 pedigree. Don't know if we'll see him at all. And then Elias Salomonson, right-handed D, he was 55 or 55th overall in 22. Top 4 ceiling defenseman, but he is their best prospect in their defensive system. But yeah, wow. Yeah, made it through all 4 teams. We got a little over an hour there. I'm proud of us. But yeah, that's gonna do it for tonight. As always, appreciate you listening. Different bodies in here, but good night, everyone. Love yous. Hopefully Zach unfreezes.
Dobby says goodbye. Dobby says goodbye. Alan, when Dobby died in the movie, I was in the movie theater. I swore out loud I was so fucking mad.
I know my wife's gonna hit me when I go upstairs, but I didn't realize he died. I know he got freed. I didn't realize he died.
Oh, he's a free elf, dude. He's a free elf. He was presented with clothes. He was presented with a sock, so he was definitely free. Dobby's my